Hiya, and welcome back to Moonlight Castle, the game that teaches us that Ryan is my beloved. Ask Drax. Before I went to do my own thing in the Moonlight Castle Discord server, I would not shut the hell up about him. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Not your goddamn toy, Ryan! The reptile walked away, grumbling to himself. Ryan tried to get him to come back, but it wasn't long until the bear decided to stop following him. Then shortly afterward, Ryan came back to me. Jeez, he always reads this situation the worst way possible. I felt guilty that I might have escalated something. I'm sorry, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Don't be silly, it wasn't your fault. How are you supposed to know? Wait a minute. I can assure you that he does this constantly, and he always tries to push people away. You just happen to give him an out. So it was my fault then. No! Ugh, why am I so bad at this? Are you busy? I have another class in 10 minutes. And you? I don't care, I can be late. I shrugged and returned to my seat, as I still had some time to spare. You know that I go to the gym a few times a week, right? I nodded. There was no way I wouldn't remember. Ryan liked to flex his muscles and show off his body, especially when he claimed to have made any progress. Though I never found the courage to tell him that, to me, he looked exactly the same, round and soft as always. I met Dylan at the gym. We became gym buddies since we're taking similar programs from the same trainer, Patrice. I remember Drax talking about him. I see, that's how you started talking to Dylan. Yeah, even Patrice warned me that Dylan could be difficult to approach at times. But you know me, I never give up. Difficult? I don't know. Hiya. He seemed fine when we first talked. Actually, I don't really know it myself, and honestly, I wasn't really paying attention. Do you think that maybe he liked something about you? All I did was give my notes to the reptile, so I shook my head at Ryan. Well, I thought he did. Okay. But now I need you to answer my first question. I didn't force him. Kind of asked me, though not directly. I couldn't help but chuckling at the bear. He probably knew I'd ask what I was about to. Can you explain that? So, let's look at you as an example. Sometimes you're just playing hard to get. You say no to something when you really didn't mean no. You just wanted to act like a brat, and you like to make others try hard just to get you. Dylan is the same, but he's worse. I'm not a brat. I turned my face away and avoided eye contact. I didn't want Ryan to see that my cheeks wouldn't stop flushing. I think it's cute.
My dad gave me some things so now I can do gaming videos on Twitch.
Hell yeah. The bear took off my hat and put his paw on my head. Usually I didn't like it when people touched my hat. Or me. Though he was an exception. Scuffling his giant paw on my head, he made a mess out of my hair. Then, once he was satisfied, he put the hat where it'd been. Are you stupid? Don't do it like that. Or people could get the wrong idea. I wasn't sure if I was saying that to him or to myself. Does it bother you? Well, the thing is, be honest. Puffing my cheeks, I forced the words out of my mouth, knowing that I'd regret it afterward. I enjoy it, but it's embarrassing. Maybe, if we were alone, I wouldn't have minded. Ryan cracked a prideful smile. He was definitely going to rub it in my face later. Teasing you is fun and makes me so happy. I love it. That was my cue to leave, or I'd get a stroke from all the emotions I was feeling. I'll see you at lunch. I stomped off, hiding my face from the bear. If I heard him say another word, I'd pop like a balloon. It took me a minute to regain my composure. Ryan really got me this time. I'd have to come up with a counter strategy later. My mind trailed off as I made my way to the next class. Thought about all the people I'd interacted with today. Everyone was cool, I thought, but then I stopped in my tracks as I realized that wasn't the case. wasn't exactly the case. Liam was the black sheep among them. His shenanigans always kept people on edge, and nobody seemed to be very fond of him. I reached for the doorknob only to grab someone else's hand. I'm sorry, I was zoning out. It's you again. Pulling my hand back, I looked at Dylan and saw that he was holding a book, as well as my notebook in the crook of his arm. What are you looking at? He spoke louder than when he was in the class, and now that he was standing, he looked quite intimidating. Nothing, I just wanted to get in. Huffing, he opened the door for me, and I rushed inside as I was feeling uncomfortable to be around him alone. I found myself a nice seat near the window, unpacked my things, and readied myself for taking notes. I want to sit here. Dylan came in and sat next to me, all without giving me the chance to respond. It was true that there were no assigned seats, but why did he want to sit here? Tried to pay him no mind and keep my eyes on the board since I was there only for the lecture. There was no need to be scared. However, for some reason, he kept staring at me. His eyes were glued to me. Was he trying to read my notes? Was he trying to start another conversation? I had no idea what he was up to. I can't... I sighed, annoyed by what he was doing. He was stressing me out and distracting me from the lecture. Came to the conclusion that I either had to call him out or move away, and it was obvious which one I picked. Despite that, he proceeded to pick up his stuff from the table and followed me, and that was when I couldn't keep quiet anymore. Please stop doing that! Doing what? Pointed at him and then at me. You know what I'm talking about! I see you're trying to get away from me. The way you put it kind of hit me hard. I wasn't trying to be mean, I just wanted to focus my attention on the lecture. I'm trying to listen to the professor and you're distracting. As I finished saying that, Dylan returned to his seat. For some reason, it felt awkward to me that he didn't make a comeback. What are you doing? I didn't know why I continued to talk. Maybe deep down I just wanted to show Ryan that I could help too. Grab a pen, I'll show you how I take notes. I moved my things and sat next to Dylan so that he was able to look at what I was writing. Rather than listening to the lecture, I ended up showing Dylan how to efficiently take notes. He didn't talk much in the beginning. It almost felt like he was refusing to talk, but as I kept going, he started to speak more. This shit is annoying. True, but putting in the work now will make things easier down the road. Are you doing this because of Ryan? I'm going to punch the shit out of him if you say yes. You do realize, if that was the case, I'd never say yes. Why? He's the one getting punched, not you. I don't like violence. How do you defend yourself, then? I blinked. His question puzzled me. I cry. Do I need to? From what? He didn't answer. Pondered over for a moment, and I was pretty sure that nobody disliked me to the point that they'd hurt me. I saw him looking around. Maybe even he wasn't sure about how to cope with my response either. Ryan told me you could be difficult to talk to, but I don't really see how. It was true that the reptile had raised his voice a few times, but I didn't think that it went further than that. I'm so pissed, actually! These bastards kept telling me to stay quiet, and because of that, you're getting the wrong idea about me! And now he sounded like a volcano that had waited its whole life for an eruption that was overdue. A beast man has to exert his dominance, so that others know who's at top. And I was an absolute fool to play along with their crap rather than show him who the boss is. Having few ideas what he was talking about, I put on a blank expression. It seemed I'd opened a door that was meant to stay closed. Is that why you always speak so loudly? Not always. Though if I have to prove a point, I'll make sure absolutely everyone can hear me clearly. I wondered if that was necessary, but I couldn't bring myself to ask. Listen, nerd. I'm going to drop that awful act. It was making me look like a wimp, and my father would have been disappointed. I raised a brow. The contents of his words started to become weirder and weirder. Well, I guessed that at the very least he wasn't being violent. Do you have anything you want to say? I just can't follow the classes. Smart-ass professors trying to overcomplicate their shit. I don't understand even a single word, and the books aren't any better. They go over the top when it could have been easy as fuck to understand otherwise. Full of garbage. It's like they just had to mess with me. It's driving me crazy. I could actually relate to that, although I'd express it probably in a different way. What about Ryan? Do you have anything to say about him? I can't concentrate when I'm around that asshole. He's putting on a silly smile and giving me his weird motivational trash. And he's gay as shit, too. I don't want to be near him or his ass too long. Oh? I tried to hold it back, but a snort came out anyway. Dylan's description of Ryan was spot on. It seemed the reptile had a way of expressing things. I have a feeling that if I let my guard down, he'd reach for my butt. And I'd make sure to go for his neck if it happened. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. I shouldn't be laughing. But why did an image pop into my head? I shouldn't be laughing. I should not find this funny. I should not find this funny. Like, the music. Just the music. As well as the image of just... I don't know how to describe it. Just that mental image. It's just, it's cursed. And I love it. I didn't really get what he meant, so I only awkwardly let out a dry laugh. Maybe I should change the topic. Do you like reading? I hated to admit it, but Ryan might be right. Dylan looked like he was mad when I said that. For some reason, my gut was telling me that I might be walking on a minefield. Why the fuck would you ask me that? The reptile pressed himself closer to me and I started to panic. The amount of stress I was under had just gone through the roof. And I was in no position to find out through lies. Nice ass. Duh! Just reaches down, grabs a handful of reptile ass. R.I.P. Ryan. You might be missed. The book! You were holding a book when you walked in! Besides, you came to class from the library, didn't you? I was shaking like a leaf. With his size, it'd be easy for him to crush me. Please don't hurt me. I just hoped that my plea would work. And somehow it seemed to be working. Joel, look at me. If you tell anyone where I went or what I was doing, I'll personally make you pay. I could feel the breakfast rustle had given me spinning in my stomach. I'd never been this scared by someone looking at me in the eyes before. I won't! I closed my eyes as I chanted those words, and I even put my hands in front of me to make some sort of shield. I didn't know if I was about to get punched or I was simply following my instincts. Things went quiet and nothing really happened. Took a peek and Dylan was already back in his seat, minding his business. Eventually I lowered my guard and then I tried to relax myself. Keep my secret and I'll teach you how to fight. I was busy wondering if somehow I wasn't making myself clear enough, so I didn't respond right away. Thought that the fact that I was on the verge of crying would make it obvious that I'd never dare to say anything he didn't want me to say. Dylan, I don't need you to do that. Shut up! Said I'm going to teach you. Okay, fine. If it makes you feel better, then I can try. Good. We can plan something in the next few days when I'm not working. Oh? What do? I don't want to tell you. This time it felt like I dodged a bullet. I was about to repeat the same mistake in less than 5 minutes. Dylan clearly disliked talking about himself, and what did I do? I asked about him. I look forward to spending time with you. Yeah, sure, whatever. Was he hesitant? I thought I could see a fraction of a smile for a second there, and maybe even a blush. But it happened so fast that I couldn't tell. The class was over shortly afterward. It was a shame that I missed most of the lecture, as I was basically talking with Dylan the entire time. It dawned on me that nobody interrupted us. Maybe Dylan was carrying a reputation that warded them off? I shrugged away these thoughts as I packed my things. Wanted to say goodbye to the reptile, but he'd already left the classroom. Must have been hungry, as it was already lunchtime. My belly was rumbling too. The thought of finally getting to eat something nice rather than canned food excited me. I didn't like leeching off Ryan.
It's time to drink water.
But he pretty much ordered me to eat part of his food.
It's time
and nobody
to drink
would really
water.
complain if I actually ended up doing...
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
I pushed the canteen's doors open and entertained my nose with all the wonderful smells. Those plates of warm food others were carrying, I wish I could take a bite. A dog sure could dream, and all-you-can-eat buffet would be really appealing right now. I stopped staring at others' food when I heard Ryan calling for me from one of the big tables. I saw Ryan, Liam, and Blake all sitting together. Their food was untouched, as they were most likely waiting for me. I sprinted there since I'd hate to be responsible for letting their food get cold. I'm sorry I got sidetracked. Ryan laughed as he pointed out that he saw what I was doing. You must be hungry. Come, I'll give you something. I'd ask you to wait until everyone had arrived, but I know Joel and his circumstances, so only he gets a pass. You heard me, Ryan. Blake knew us too well. Both Ryan and I felt called out, so we didn't make much of a fuss about it. I can wait, I don't like being the only one eating, it feels weird. Blake gave us a nod of approval. I understand. Then he checked his phone and it seemed he was growing impatient every second. Hopefully Clyde will show up soon, and we can enjoy some time together.
Even the council president can be late. Unbelievable.
Liam joked, but no one laughed. I was glad not to be in his shoes. Clyde would never be late without a reason, so please don't mention anything about it. Liam, I trust that you know when to keep your mouth shut. Ryan whistled. It seemed he enjoyed watching the one-sided conversation. Did something happen this morning? Liam getting spanked sounds awesome. Phrasing. Ryan, baby. Phrasing.
Shut up!
Our discussion was cut short as we heard a frantic cheering. There were girls screaming joyously from the hallway behind the doors. Clyde squeezed his way in, and he was followed by a huge crowd of female students. Blake stood up, and as he did that, he sighed. The wolf then headed straight to the dragon, who was trying his best to ignore the chaos, but it was just outright impossible. Their voices were deafening, and it wasn't like we could stop them by screaming louder. I told you to use the shortcut.
What kind of kinky shit is he into?
It seems I've made a miscalculation. I was already nearby, and I naively believed it'd be more convenient to use the hallway like other students do. You forgot about your stupid fan club. I'd be grateful if you allowed me to forget such a thing existed. You can't. And look at what you've done. Oh, hi, Clyde. Blake returned to our table with Clyde in tow, and the mob of eccentric students followed them and swarmed over our table. Around all 5 of us, they were all trying to get the dragon's attention one way or another. Well, obviously they're trying to get his attention. Look at how smartly he's dressed. Seriously, look how smartly he's dressed. I believe the best course of action would be to seek refuge in my private room until things settle down. Clyde, did you do this on purpose? Oh my, what sort of wild accusation is that? The more I think about it, the more it makes sense. They make the perfect reason for you to leave, and that's why you walked here nonchalantly in front of everyone. That's absurd, Blake. I gave you my word that I'd try out this alternative activity. Please have some faith in me. Getting accustomed to wasting time like you and your friends do. That alone is already difficult. It sucks to say this, but you're right. I can't say that without concrete evidence. I'll believe you for now, but you're not leaving. Blake stared at the group of girls around us. Seeing that they weren't going to leave us alone anytime soon, the wolf let out yet another sigh. Ryan, could you do that thing you did on Halloween? Are you sure? Yes, please. It's an emergency. Ryan was unsure about it. Almost instinctively, he turned to face me, probably to get my opinion on the matter. Hey, it's okay if you don't want to. We can find another solution. It's just, I recall how it went that time. Started the kids, they cried, and, well, you got upset. It wasn't completely your fault. Liam got you into doing that, remember?
Guys, you know I'm here. I can hear everything you're saying.
Ryan and I gave Liam a quick glance and resumed our conversation as if we were never interrupted. Yeah, I get it, but I don't like that it makes me look like I'm insane. We know who you really are. It's okay. You're my gentle giant. I winked at him, and I was too caught up in the heat of the moment to realize that I did that. Thanks. That was nice to hear. The bear scratched his cheek. It was a futile attempt to hide the fact that he was blushing. Then he got up and prepared for his stunt. You know what? I'm going to give Ryan a gay voice. I'm going to give him a gay voice. Then he got up and prepared for his stunt. And as he was doing that, I finally realized what I'd just done. My face went up in flames. Once again, I sought shelter under my hat until everything was over. Truly afterward, the bear let out the loudest and most explosive roar, which echoed throughout the canteen. It stunned most of the crowd, although it drew some attention and a couple of new stares from nearby tables. Ryan never really wanted to do it, but there were a few choices. Regardless, the scream disoriented the girls enough that they were now silent. Apparently, I was wrong. We did manage to stop them by screaming louder. Blake seized the opportunity to begin speaking to the crowd in an effort to make them go away. We're having lunch. What all of you are doing is childish and disrespectful. Do you really want to leave such an impression on the council president? I watched Blake unleash his sharp tongue. It came through to them, and the group slowly faded until we were all by ourselves. Finally.
Damn, you keep reminding me why I don't want to get on your bad side.
It was necessary. I had to keep Clyde here. Clyde looked surprised as if he wasn't expecting the crowd to go away that easily. Blake, I'm thankful for sorting out that situation. Ryan brought out his food from the bag. The extra workout must have boosted his appetite. Can we eat now? I'm so hungry. I'm just going to give him the Orlando voice. Can we eat now? I'm so hungry. Blake turned to face everyone. However, before he could give the word of approval, Liam interrupted him.
There are still 2 people coming. Can we wait a few more minutes, please?
Blake scratched his head. He knew that, after what Ryan did, stopping the bear from eating would be just cruel. I'll wait, but maybe we should let them start. Hopefully next time we won't have to deal with any fan club. I wanted to discuss our course of action with Ryan, but my eyes caught something in the corner of the room, near the doors that connected the canteen and the courtyard. I poked Ryan on the arm and pointed my finger to direct his attention to where I was looking. Dylan, I said no! Stop being a pussy! I know what he's going to do, and I'm not letting it happen again! All muscles and no brain, yet I'm still stronger than you. Oh, the irony! Dylan, come on, man. Show some sympathy! Who? Me? That's funny. Thought you know me better, Patrice. The crocodile was dragging a tiger by the tail. No matter how hard the tiger guy struggled, he wasn't able to break free. And I was shocked even further when I realized that they were heading our way. Oh, who's this? The tiger was dropped on an empty seat at our table. Oh, my laptop does not like this. The crocodile then promptly sat next to him. There, I brought the kitty.
Thank you, Dylan. I'm lucky to have you.
The reptile held out his hand in front of the lynx and made a motion that suggested a demand. Liam pulled out his wallet and gave some money to the crocodile. What's going on here? I don't know what voice to give him. What voice should I give him? This is a serious question. Cause just turning into the fucking password cast voice all over again. And I don't know what voice to give Patrice. The old Ryan voice was just my natural speaking voice. So I guess I'll keep him as that. Same with, Joel. You know what, until I figure something out, Patrice is going to share a voice with... normal voice, but a bit deep. There we go. Ryan, please help me. Liam is buying Dylan again. The tiger tried to wiggle, but the reptile was holding the striped feline in place. Ryan crossed his arm and shot a glare at both the crocodile and the spotted feline. You shouldn't let him hire you to do his dirty work. It's not worth it. Listen, my only mistake was not asking for more money. Though don't you worry, I got that covered next time. Dylan took the banknotes from Liam. The tiger grabbed his tail and tried to pull it. There's not going to be a next time. I'm out of here.
Why are you trying to run away from me? I haven't done anything yet.
Sounded like a genuine question, but if the past had taught us anything, it'd be that we should never trust Liam. You're such a liar. I saw what you did this morning with Joel. I'm not going to let you pull a prank on me again. What did you do to him? Why is he so traumatized?
I didn't do anything. Stop blaming me. This guy is just too scared of everything, especially the occult and ghosts. Sometimes I don't even need to try.
Liam annoyedly huffed. He put his bag on the table and brought out the mask he'd used earlier in the morning in order to save me.
Am I even allowed to explain before everyone jumps at my throat?
Patrice, right? Can you do that for him? As Wolf finished saying that, Patrice finally succeeded in pulling his tail out of Dylan's hand. The tiger wasn't really buying anything Liam said, but Blake's soothing manners were enough to convince the striped feline to give the other feline a chance. I guess I could at least try.
Well, in that case, I'll...
Just as soon as Liam was about to begin, he was interrupted by a loud lumble. Embarrassedly, Ryan covered his own stomach. Maybe we should eat while he speaks. The spotted feline sighed. Reluctantly, he allowed the others to eat first, since the group had been waiting for a long time. Ryan brought out 2 sandwiches and told me to eat one of them. We argued a little because he offered me a whole sandwich even though we could have shared one of the two. I don't want to eat half of his lunch. To me, even just a quarter felt already too much. However, the bear insisted that I took the whole portion he offered, and he even said that he'd throw away whatever I left behind if I didn't eat the whole thing. Yay. The sandwich was great, though. I'd almost forgotten how good homemade food could be. Excuse me, could you list the contents of that sandwich? Oh, sure, there's chicken, cheese, and a spicy sauce that reminds me of ketchup, but I think there's more. May I take a tiny piece of it for myself? Of course! I was kind of on autopilot, and I didn't really know who was talking to me until he took that small piece of my lunch from me. The guy was Russell, and he was chewing the tiny bit thoroughly to inspect all the flavors. What are you doing here?
When did you arrive?
Other than Ryan and I, no one else in the group really knew Russell. Surely if the bull was invited to come join us for lunch, Ryan would have mentioned it. However, it seemed that the bear clearly hadn't mentioned anything to anyone, because everyone was looking at Russell with clear confusion visible on their faces. See, no. This group, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 people there, not including the player. I would have a panic attack. Too many people. However, it seemed that the bearer hadn't mentioned anything to anyone because everyone was looking at Russell with clear confusion visible on their faces. Ryan asked me to make your lunch for tomorrow, and... You did what? I raised my voice and turned my head to face Ryan, who started whistling to appear innocent as he looked away from me. So I decided to come and take a look at the canteen to see what you'd usually eat here, so that I could get an idea of what you might like. I was about to yell at Ryan, but Liam interjected.
Who's this guy? Another surprise? I guess that makes 2 extras.
Don't mind me. I don't know you, and I'm not planning to join anything you might have planned for these people. Ignoring Liam, Russell resumed the taste test and wrote things down.
I suppose it doesn't matter if he's listening.
I've been paying close attention to you, Liam. And I believe you're hiding something from us. Clyde adjusted his glasses, having finished his food in silence. If you're having any trouble, please don't hesitate to contact me for a consultation. It's my job to provide assistance to other students. You know what? Fuck it. I should have been wearing these anyways. Should have. But I haven't. And I'm a brat. And an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'll just admit it. I'm an idiot. I should have been wearing these because fucking lights glare. Fucking light glare. And these lessen it. So yeah. Liam looked down as if those words brought him discomfort rather than reassurance.
It's not related to school, Clyde.
I suppose I'm not well versed in personal affairs, but I'm available to lend an ear and provide opinions. So please go ahead. Everyone is here. The lynx giggled as he raised the mask for everyone to see.
And don't be so tense, guys. It's nothing important. I wanted to organize a trip. Something fun that we could do together, so to speak.
The news received mixed reactions. Everyone was kind of suspicious and wary of him. Sounds nice on paper. Where's the trick? Could you give us more details? I'm interested. I believe that Blake liked the idea only because it was a good opportunity to drag Clyde out of his comfort zone.
Dinner in the forest, watching the sunset, a campfire, and maybe a barbecue?
Oh my god. I get to eat meat with my friends. Sign me up. The prospect of good food and company seemed to have overshadowed any suspicion that Ryan had. Sure, Ryan has to cook though or I'm not coming. Don't worry, I'm way ahead of you, but you'll have to help me. What? You're out of your mind. I eat the food, not make it. That's the lady's job. Wow, misogynist. I'm not a girl, you know. Besides, cooking is fun. Oh yeah. Sorry, you act like one all the time, so I get confused. Ryan rolled his eyes. He'd likely make a comeback if I didn't grab his attention. I'll help, so let's drop it, okay? Please? Fine. I'd like to request an important piece of information everyone seemed to have neglected so far. When is this gathering supposed to be? I must know in order to make space in my schedule.
Tonight?
That won't do. I can't agree to join such an activity on such short notice. I have a bad feeling about this. Patrice rubbed his chin as he looked at Liam. You're not the type to organize something like this. It's too good to be true. I agreed with that sentiment, and honestly, I was sure that everyone thought the same. You're leaving out details and hiding something important, aren't you? You're going to pull the usual trick and tell us when we can't refuse anymore.
What? Don't be so paranoid.
I'm not coming then. Spit it out and maybe I'll change my mind. Even Patrice has the balls sometimes. Dylan laughed, seemingly enjoying the situation. How come you suddenly came up with the idea anyway? The Lynx then elaborated on his reasons for organizing the trip.
I heard a rumor on the internet a few days ago. They said that in the middle of the night, while they were out camping, a castle showed up in the forest. Some of their friends went in and never returned. By the time it was morning, that place just disappeared as if it never existed.
Blake chuckled, and soon afterward, so did everyone. Patrice, however, seemed ready to scream. It took all of them a second to catch their breath, well, except one. Liam, I can tell you're serious, and I'm sorry for laughing. But the story sounds fake. People write stuff like that for fun. They're not meant to be taken seriously. Liam's expression clearly changed once the Lynx heard Blake's words. I knew you were up to no good! I refuse to have any part of this! You heard me! This stuff is freaking me out! I don't care if it's real! Actually, it better not be! I'm never leaving the house again until I die! There's no such thing as the occult. Don't let his words sway you or cloud your judgment. I didn't expect Russell to just chime in like that. Hearing about supernatural stuff must have struck a nerve in him or something.
What do you know? I tell you, there are lots of things in this world that we can't prove. Like miracles, magic, gods, ghosts, and...
Hey, Ryan, is your friend okay? I'm starting to get concerned about his mental health. Did he bump his head when he was little? Look at all the loads of bullshit I'm hearing.
Funny words. Coming from a bull.
You're too arrogant, little man. I've changed my mind. I'll join your weird group here and prove to you that this is nonsense. Guys, that's enough. Can we find a middle ground? My words seemed to have stopped them, and instead of going at each other, they began mumbling things to themselves.
I really want to go. If you guys don't wish to come along, that's fine. I was planning to go even by myself.
There was a moment of silence. Everyone was collecting their thoughts. I don't recommend going out alone in the forest at night. Do you have a vehicle? Clyde was smart enough to assess the situation, and he immediately brought up a fair point.
I don't. I thought we'd go together, so only one of us was going to bring a vehicle, though. If I was going to go along, I'd just walk.
Huh, you got a death wish or something? Dylan raised a brow. Even to the crocodile, those bars were already low. Liam's plan was crazy. I'm willing to go along with this. The pros outweigh the cons, and I'd hate it if you were to get lost, or worse. You're really agreeing to go with him. Why? Didn't you hear what he just said? Patrice probably couldn't believe that someone would buy it, as the whole situation was nothing but strange. Because I'm his friend, though sometimes he's a little chaotic. A trip in the woods sounds fun, and Clyde could really use a break. He asked us to only visit this castle, and you guys completely forgot one thing. That it doesn't exist. We go there, enjoy our dinner, and then leave.
It does exist!
Have you been there? Did you find the place?
Well, no, but...
You have your answer. It's just him doing his stupid pranks, that's all. Liam looked upset. I could see it on his face. No matter what he said, nobody was going to believe or support him. If only he'd been nicer, maybe this whole thing would have turned out differently.
Fine, as long as you guys are coming, I don't care about the details. Since today's no good, so... tomorrow?
Blake shook his head as Liam stared at the wolf. I'd never seen the Lynx being this persistent before. You really don't want to wait for the weekend, do you? I suppose I'll change my plans. What about the rest of you? Tomorrow night is troublesome for me. I have to organize my notes and study materials for an upcoming exam. Clyde, take your schedule and burn it. You're going to make yourself busy no matter what. I wasn't asking you. Besides, you'd already memorized most of the materials anyway. I know that for a fact. You'll be blamed for ruining my perfect scores, and I'm going to be very sad if my grades aren't the highest. Blake revealed the previous folder again and dangled it in front of Clyde. The dragon clearly required an extra push. I'll rearrange my plans. Are you satisfied? Dylan finished his food and then he burped as loud as he could before he started talking over them. I don't care when, I'm always available. Take my number and text me.
Ah, that reminds me. I'm missing some of you guys' phone numbers.
Liam went over to each of us to collect our numbers, and then he stopped himself in front of the other feline.
Are you coming?
The tiger mulled it over. What Blake had said earlier kind of helped him change his mind, as he gave in to logic rather than irrational fear. It's a group activity, and with you guys, I won't be alone, so I suppose it's fine. Everyone could kind of see that he still had some doubt. He looked more sad than excited. He was pretty much pressured to join us, but nobody wanted to bring it up because all of them believed he'd have fun in the end. Can I ask a question? Sheepishly, I raised my hand. We're 8 people, and Ryan's car doesn't fit all of us. How do we get there? That's a great question, isn't it?
I'll rent a minivan, and Ryan can drive it.
Sounds good to me. I wasn't thinking about cramming everyone in my car anyway. I mean, we'd fit, but the ride would be painful. Since I've decided to join the party, I'll assist you in making dinner. Is that fair? Ryan gasped at the thought of getting to enjoy dinner made by Russell. Oh my god, yes, I'd totally like to learn your way of cooking and watch it up close. Understandable, I'll provide the tools and the labor. Meanwhile, you'll be in charge of buying the ingredients. I'll give you a list later. Ryan was so excited that he couldn't stop shaking from the top of his chair. Guys, this is going to be amazing! I chuckled. His pure reactions were gold, and his positive energy was contagious. It quickly spread all over the table, bringing the mood right up. One after another, everyone finished their food and bid their goodbyes, and went their separate ways, except Ryan, Liam, and me. We stayed at the table because we didn't have any class scheduled immediately after lunch. How are you doing? Is everything fine? I'm fine, Ryan, just tired. Ryan read me like a book. He probably saw from my eyes that I was concerned. I was looking forward to the trip, but this whole thing was kind of giving me a weird vibe. Meanwhile, the Lynx was fiddling with his phone, and sometimes he'd shoot me a glance, but wouldn't say anything. Well, if you say so, then I believe you're fine. You did well today. Huh? What do you mean? You always try to help everyone, even when you don't want to. Like how you did earlier. Oh, that. I guess you're right. I don't think I would have done it without your help, though. You did give me the push that I need to go through with it. Don't be stupid. I did literally nothing. Anyway, I could have done more during the talk, when everyone was stressed, but I didn't. It just felt like I was being overwhelmed. Blake, on the other hand, tried his best to take control of the situation and diffuse it. Now you're the one being stupid. I don't remember it being your responsibility. See? This is exactly what I mean. You're so good at saying the right things at the right time. I hate to admit that it makes me feel better. Ryan laughed as he looked at me with his big old eyes. Wanted to say I hated it, but that wouldn't be true at all. It was just pride messing with my thoughts. If you like it so much, then you should give it a try as well. Say something nice to me. Now he just wanted to be coddled, and it felt like I was playing right into his furry paws. However, before I gave him an answer, the gears in my head were starting to turn. With a flash of creativity and a spark of genius, I came up with a perfect comeback. I stood up, and now that he was still sitting, I could easily do what I'd been wanting to do for a long time. He'd absolutely not see it coming. Thank you so much for what you've done today. You're such a good boy. I'm so proud of you. Tried my best to hide the cheeky grin I had as I patted his head. Ryan tried to speak, but it seemed a cat got his tongue. Or a dog in this case. Thought I might have broken him, as I couldn't understand a single word he was saying. And all that came afterward were muffled noises. I'd never seen him that flustered. His fur changed color completely. He was flaming red. He's a cutie patootie. Strenuously, he got up from his chair and barely managed to utter a goodbye before he dashed out of the canteen. That was the sweetest revenge I'd ever had in years. I wish I had recorded it. Liam was also watching Ryan go, and the Lynx was just as speechless as I was. However, shortly afterward, the feline went back to staring at his phone. Wondered if I should talk to Liam. It seemed like he didn't have anyone who would listen to him expressing himself, and who knew if, maybe, pranks were his way of making friends?
Joel, can I talk with you?
I guess he took the initiative before I did. I gave him a nod and dragged my chair closer to his.
Give me a moment, it's hard to say.
He looked flustered, although it was nowhere near Ryan's level.
It's true that I organize this, but I'm not good at talking with people. I'm scared that I'll fuck it up, okay? I don't want them to leave when I say something stupid again.
I wanted to comfort him and say a cliche or some sort of encouragement. However, the only response my brain could muster was to merely agree with him that he shouldn't mess up this one, and I could barely keep my mouth shut.
I just finished making a group chat. Can you do me a favor?
Sure, tell me.
I was thinking about hanging out with everyone later today so that I can ask them what they think about the trip, and what they expect from it to make sure all of them feel good about this.
What he'd said so far made sense to me. Then he pinched his forehead and let out a sigh.
In theory, that should be easy, as it's just hanging out and trying to be friendly. But I can't do it! I don't know how! When it comes to entertaining someone, all I can come up with are stupid ideas that only make people dislike me even more.
If you do that favor by hanging out with everyone, will you also hang out with me? What I said was done tongue-in-cheek, but maybe I could end up liking it. You said everyone, and that includes you too.
That's not what I... Oh.
With a chuckle, Liam interrupted himself. He was caught walking right into it.
Smart ass.
Maybe I am. I held my hand out toward him. Maybe you just needed someone who could understand you, and who knows if maybe things will get better. The lynx took my hand, and he grinned as I pulled him up.
Did Ryan teach you that? You sounded exactly like him.
Maybe it's rubbing off on me, and who knows if one day it'll rub off on you too.
Jesus, no. Ever start spreading motivational garbage? Please end me.
Should I remind you that Blake was totally about to end you back in the hallway?
Well, maybe I wanted that.
Liam?
Nothing, it was a joke. Oh, look, I got you again.
No, I don't think it was. Do I look that stupid? Hang on.
I'm not answering that.
You're such an ass. Apparently our bickering was quite fun this time around. The jokes he made were definitely still stupid, but at least he wasn't being annoying. It felt as if he was making an effort not to cross a line, and I genuinely enjoyed it. Then suddenly his phone beeped, which brought our conversation to an end. I saw a slight bit of worry on his face.
Shit. I need to go home.
Why don't you have...
All good, it's just, an appointment. That's just to help me with this. Go and spend some time with everyone. Let's make them happy and make sure they're on a good mood tonight so that they're looking forward to tomorrow.
I didn't say anything as the lynx left the canteen. Part of me was satisfied with the interaction and proud that I'd done something meaningful today. However, the weird feeling I had earlier never really left me. Though I tended to overthink things, so I figured that it was the reason, and I simply brushed it off. Soon afterward, my phone was exploding with notifications. Everyone was already texting, filling the group chat with questions and stickers. Lots of stickers. Blake reprimanded them for not paying attention to the lecture, and then the chat slowly died. Although Liam was online, he was the only one who didn't send anything to the chat. I considered shooting him a private message, but I ended up not doing so. He said that he was going to be busy, so I thought it was pointless to try to contact him. Why are we Daphne? I looked for a place to sit and waited for my next lecture. The class began and it was quite uneventful compared to the ones before. I was sitting with just my books and myself, listening to the professor and filling my brain with information that would be useless if I didn't need it for the exam. When the class was over, I packed my things and, as I walked home, I was thinking about Liam and what he told me. The favor he asked for didn't really affect my plan. I was going to meet up with everyone anyway. Having a walk by myself was a nice change. It was relaxing and quite refreshing. I was trying to figure out who was the first person that I should text. My eyes were glued to my phone as I skimmed the contact list, and I had no idea where to start. Then I was halted by a phone call. Reading the handle, I gulped and suddenly felt like the world had come to a stop. I really should answer it, but I didn't want to. She must know at this point that I'd been avoiding her. What excuse could I possibly make this time? Phone kept ringing and I was starting to freak out. If I answered it, she'd yell at me, or worse, he would. And I was really afraid of that. It wasn't the right time. I wasn't ready to talk with her. Pondered it for so long that the ringing stopped. I looked in silence at the notification for missed calls, and I was waiting to see if there'd be another attempt. However, it remained peaceful. Maybe for the best. I took a deep breath and then I walked into my apartment. Couldn't think straight anymore, so I put myself on autopilot as I headed for my room. Then I dumped my things on my bed and plopped myself on my desk where my computer was waiting for me. Oh shit, is this the route selection? Is this the route selection? I'm still gonna save. Okay, who should we text? Okay, Clyde. Hey Clyde, what's your plan today? I'm in the middle of a reunion. I apologize for cutting the conversation short, but I'm working hard to make space for tomorrow night. I'll see you then. That's fine, have a good day. Should have known that he was busy. That was so awkward. I hope it didn't bother him too much. Yes. Okay, who next? I like the way you think. Ryan! Joel! What are you doing? I'm with Russell hanging out at his place. Hope I didn't make plans because the others will join me soon. What are you talking about? Didn't you read my text? I asked everyone to come here to have some fun and get to know each other a little more. Am I smart or what? That's a great idea. Sorry, I must have skimmed through it without paying attention. I'm on my way there. Awesome, Russell is making something yummy. You'd better be fast or it's gone. Haha, I must hurry then. I stepped away from my computer to pick up all the things from my bed and prepare to walk out. This made Liam's request a lot easier, though I wasn't sure if really all of us would be there. I hoped I'd be able to spend time with the rest of them tomorrow if not everyone showed up today. As I was leaving the building, it occurred to me that I had no idea where Saffron's stash was. I was zoning out in the morning when Ryan was driving me there. Really should have paid more attention to my surroundings. Ryan, I don't know where the place is. I messaged Ryan. Thankfully, his answer came with an address. Then it was a simple job for my GPS. Should I come to pick you up? No need. I'm on my way there. It was fairly close to the college. I don't know. It was fairly close to the college, therefore it meant I could just walk there. The only hassle was the excessive twists and turns. Now it made sense why the place was so empty. Its location was really holding it back. How unfortunate. When the place was in my sight, I could also see a familiar figure standing outside. He was most likely keeping an eye out for me, who didn't know the roads well. The moment our eyes met, he started to run to me, waving his hand and shouting my name. Joel! Joel! Here! I can see you, Ryan. I'm coming. He continued to run for a little bit and then slowed down. It was quite impressive that such a big guy had so much energy to spare. Is everyone inside? I could see him mentally counting before answering me. We're missing Clyde, Dylan, and Liam. I don't know if they're coming, so I'm staying here for a bit. Don't stay too long, okay? I'm going in. The place didn't really change much from that morning. Excluding Blake and Patrice, who were talking with each other at the front counter, there were about 2 or 3 customers. Russell was quietly listening to the two. His eyes followed me until I made my way to the counter. The two didn't notice that I'd arrived until I was sitting down. Nice, Joel came. I think you should ask him about this. What's going on? Dylan is ignoring my messages. Again! Oh, is he upset for some reason? Yes and no, it's complicated. Sometimes I don't understand it myself. Maybe he's doing that again. Tiger gestured with his paws as if he was trying to make out a shape or emotion, but I couldn't understand it. Then he returned to his beer and continued to take a big sip. Doing what? I'm sorry, that's private. I can't tell without his permission. Thanks for hearing me out, though. Patrice let out a long sigh as he extended his arms forward. And he was almost touching Russell's face. I want more beer, please. No. You drank almost the entire bottle. The bull then lifted the near empty bottle so that everyone could see it, trying to get his point across. What kind of bartender doesn't serve drinks? Come on, it's almost dinner time. Just another cup. 5 p.m. isn't dinner time, Patrice. Don't you want to be paid? I can afford it. I'll serve something only if it'll sober you up. I'm not drunk. Just tipsy. Patrice lay on the counter and glanced at all of us, one by one. As his eyes met mine, it became obvious that he was plotting something. A mischievous grin took shape on his face. Yo, Joel, do you drink? You look tense. A sip will make you feel better. I do sometimes, but... Russell, you heard that? Bring him one. The bull narrowed his eyes. I couldn't really afford alcohol, though, and I was too afraid to admit that. Actually, I'd never really been drunk, either. Fine. No, wait! Blake gave me a gentle tap on the shoulder to stop me from stopping Russell. Let him. Wolf was whispering into my ear and making sure that the tiger wouldn't hear it. Patrice swished his tail as he kept staring in anticipation at the bartender. Here's your drink, Joel. I wasn't really planning to drink it. As I was about to return the cup to Russell, the tiger snatched it from me and proudly chugged down its contents. Though not too long afterward, the feline coughed violently. This isn't beer! It's orange juice. I took the liberty of providing a drink of similar color, knowing that you'd plan to steal it. Patrice sighed. He looked somewhat more sober now. Fine, I give up. Please understand that I don't mind you drinking. Getting drunk occasionally is perfectly okay, but only within reason. You don't have anyone to take you home tonight. Ryan could. He even does. Sometimes. I heard my name, what's up? The bear appeared and sat right between us. He looked around for a bit, and as he was about to speak, his nose picked up a familiar smell from Patrice. You're drinking already? At least wait for Dylan. He's not coming, though, is he? Yeah, no, I don't think he's coming. He made me come all the way out here, and then he doesn't show up himself. I knew it! Yet I'm still disappointed. Anyway, what did I miss? Patrice was tricked into drinking orange juice, believing it to be beer. Fuck, I missed something glorious. I hate you. Okay, before I forget, we should properly introduce ourselves to one another. I know their names, isn't that enough? Dude, how do you make friends if you only know their names? You can be friends with someone and still know very little about them. There was more truth in what the wolf said than I thought, actually. Well, sure, let's talk. What do you want to know? I'm a gym trainer who's trying to get a degree to become a nutritionist. I'm sticking around at the gym only because I get to look up people up close. Up close? No, don't ask. And you, don't answer. Pervert. I'm not a pervert. I don't even say anything to them. I just admire them in silence. Does he? Yeah, most of the time. Though I remember that one time he tried to... Hey, that one doesn't count. I was drunk, okay? I thought they were someone I knew, and I slapped their butt by mistake. It was so embarrassing. Why did you have to make me remember it? I'll never forget it as long as I live. Sure, I surely wouldn't forget something like that either. How did they react? Luckily, just a punch. It didn't escalate much because Patrice was credible. Here's your coffee. Hiya. Oh, thank you. And I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids. I watched Blake take a sip of the hot beverage. Wolf froze as his mouth came in contact with the cup, and he took some time to register the taste. I don't think I've ever had anything like this before. And I drink a lot of coffee. See, I told you, nobody believes me. This man right here has some secret power. Whatever food he touches becomes gold. I remembered that tale a little differently, but maybe it's just me. Ugh, you know what I mean. Ryan, are you paying for the things I ordered? Sure, I don't mind. What did they get? Patrice ordered a meal and a beer, and Blake had a single coffee. Hopefully they're not too expensive. My part-time job as a mechanic doesn't cover a lot, so... And don't forget to pay for the table. You're hogging most of the front counter, after all. Okay, then maybe Patrice should pay for his own early dinner. Wow, rude. Was I not your guest? Thought you'd buy me something. It was only a joke, by the way. You don't need to pay for the seats. This place is already empty as it is. Were you also joking about the food, too? Russell glared at Ryan. The bear took the hint and looked away, pretending he'd never asked. Okay, that means Patrice will have to pay for the food. I was going to do it, even from the start. Right. Then why did you want me to pay for you? Oh, just playing along. Besides, I heard you bought a meal for Joel. That's different. He doesn't eat much, often skips meals and can't afford things. I mightily pulled Ryan by the shirt. How can you just nonchalantly reveal all of that to someone I just met? You just can't. Shut up! Why is that? Do you need help? It's family stuff. It's a long, boring story, and I don't think you should hear about it. I suppose that if you ever change your mind, you already have my number. Usually people who've reached that stage are already close to first base. The tiger winked at me, and my embarrassment took me for a quick ride inside my hat. I'll consider it. Oh, I just realized. You're Joe, the guy Ryan always talks about while we train. I wonder if Dylan ended up hating your guts because Ryan just couldn't shut up about you. And before the tiger could say anything further, Ryan grabbed him from behind and covered his mouth. Muffled noises and incomprehensible words were making their way to my ears. I had no idea what the tiger was trying to say. I swear if you continue the next beer swallow of glass too. Blake and Russell chuckled, and the former almost threw his coffee. Although I was intrigued to see more of this and how it would develop, I didn't want to see Patrice take the bottle down his throat. Russell, however, was making sure the empty bottle the tiger had finished was nearby and in reach for the bear to grab. Let's just forget about it, okay? I won't ask, and hopefully they're all good things. Ryan looked almost offended when he heard that I'd consider the possibility of him talking badly about me and ruining the reputation that I probably didn't have. And then he let go of Patrice. I always, and I mean always, tell everyone how amazing my best friend is, if anything. Because we spend a lot of time together daily, it's hard not to mention you. Could I ask a question? Blake was looking mostly at Ryan. Are you two just friends? Hiya. I mean, the anthropomorphic animals should be pretty indicative of what this is. Yes. I felt so lucky that I wasn't on the receiving end of that question. If the bear had feelings for me, I really had no idea. All we'd done so far was only teasing each other. Nothing out of the ordinary. I never thought of Ryan as a boyfriend. Was I supposed to? Oh, I see. It's just that you two don't really act like you're just friends. That's all. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Hey, I'll admit that Joe looks very cute. If you say that he's free, then maybe I should try him. Ryan grabbed the empty bottle. Can you repeat that? I'm not sure I caught that. You can't hold him hostage. If the man is single, he'll eventually find a girlfriend. Or a boyfriend. Anyone is fine, but a pervert like you. Excuse me, I'm not a pervert. I'm pretty sure Dylan goes at it way more than I do. I'm going to smack you. Well, we're going to smack me. The tiger softly roared at the bear, and Blake just burst out laughing. I couldn't hear much of anything that was said afterwards as Ryan rushed to me and placed his big paw on my ears. Trust me that you don't want to hear this filthy man and his thoughts. Keep your innocence. Do it for the people who lost theirs. I didn't know when exactly it was they were done being serious and were starting to joke and mess around. Geez, I'm an adult too. What do you mean? Let me hear. It was nice and somewhat even cozy. Everyone was having fun, and that was all I needed to see in order to feel warmth in my chest. I've never had a laugh like that in years. You guys are so chaotic. Yo, Wolf, you're enjoying the spectator seat too much. It's your turn to talk about yourself a little. Ryan would agree with that too. All of us wanted to know more about Blake, and the perfect opportunity showed itself. Then it's the cow's turn next. Patrice pointed at Russell, who was in the middle of washing the not so many dishes that were used during the day, and the bull glared at the tiger. Don't make me kick you out of my shop. I'm gonna stop a bit for the ad. Want to break from the ads? My back. Don't make me kick you out of my shop. Patrice didn't push it, as it was clear that the other person wasn't having fun. He just shrugged and then moved on. In a way, the tiger reminded me of what Liam would be if he knew how to control himself. Fair. Blake unlocked his phone and showed us some pictures from his gallery. Did you draw these? I was surprised. It looked like he was well versed in many different techniques, and his styles varied greatly in each of the pictures. I draw in my free time, yes. Wow, you never told us that.
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
I tend to avoid mentioning it because every time someone finds out, they ask me if I can draw them, and it drives me insane.
It's time
Patrice
to drink
furrowed his
water.
brows at the wolf's response. Oh, that's bad? It's not, but it's awkward. It's a question that I get constantly, and if you heard it all the time, you'd be annoyed too. Oh, I didn't know, sorry. Don't apologize, you didn't ask. Nobody here did. I'd never ask for a drawing of myself. I look awful in pictures. Even the camera hates me. He's exaggerating. Don't listen to him. He's fine. Have you ever thought of making art your career? Nah, this is just a hobby. There's something else I want to do. Way more than this, and it's to become a lawyer. I'd hate to practice law and defend a criminal in court, no matter how much they paid me. I can choose my clients, you know. What you mentioned is a possibility, but I'm not interested in that. As a small reminder for the future, I don't recommend bringing Ryan to court with you. What do you mean? Explain. I chuckled and Blake carried on in my place, knowing exactly where I was going. Oh, you're right. However, maybe in the future he'll change, so we should give him the benefit of the doubt for now. Hey, hey, hey! You think I can't stay quiet during a hearing? You guys must be kidding me. I apologize in advance, Ryan, but you're quite the extroverted fellow. You seem to talk with everyone, butt in on people's problems, and tend to forget to pay attention to what you're saying until it's too late. Even Russell got you figured out already, and from what I heard, you've met this guy less than a week ago. Ryan was sulking on his seat. Everyone was bullying him at this point. Fine. I'll stop talking if it makes all of you feel better. Come on now, don't be like that. Ryan, what they said might be true, but nobody said it was a bad thing. I think those are some amazing qualities when used correctly, and they will make you my best friend. The bear didn't stay sad too long. A single compliment was enough to lift up his spirits and bring out a smile. Then he grabbed me by the neck when I least expected it, and he dragged me closer to him. Aw, come here, you softy. Hey, hey, be careful. That hurts a little. Russell, you're up. Tell us something. The tiger immediately went back to the topic. I have nothing to say. I've been working here ever since I can remember. Don't give me a cold shoulder to go with that orange juice. Just say something simple so that we get to know you better. We go to the same college. If it's okay, can you tell us what you're studying? It doesn't matter. I'm doing it mostly for him. Who is that? Now I'm even more curious. The tiger stood up and leaned forward so that he was as close as possible to Russell, as if that would convince the bull to speak. Blake tugged his shirt to make him stop. We shouldn't pry, it seems personal. Okay then. There's one last person I haven't asked. Ryan's favorite. The cute little dog. I knew I was about to be put under the spotlight, and I didn't like it when everyone was staring at me. It was too sudden, too soon. I prefer to deal with only one person at a time. Hang on. You know what? Right here. We're gonna leave off here tonight. I know, I noticed that. See, there were several moments where I was put under the spotlight, like, in my own personal life. See, here's the thing. Personally, unless it is a very specific situation, I do not like being in the spotlight. Okay, I hate it. Because my anxiety will make me explode. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like being put in the spotlight. Unless, like, it's something that I do voluntarily. Anyways, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.